And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, recreation, lifestyle related, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Pull out your smartphone, save our hotline number in your phone. It's 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
670-REQB. Don't forget our number. Bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website, consumerqb.com. You've got a contact form there. You can click on the contact, send an email directly to us. You can also see links to all of our expert contributors, over 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we all want to help you win. We're going to give you that helicopter view of the marketplace. We're going to help make you more street smart, and also help you avoid a lot of that commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We're going to help you win. Round the horn here now. Make our introductions. Joe Harrison, Martial Arts. Welcome back in.
Hey, how you doing, man? It's really good to be back again. I appreciate it. This is going to be a fun show, and I'm excited to talk about a lot of different things.
Excellent. Yeah, self-defense, things happening, martial arts. It's a big topic right now, especially in this, seems to be a crazy world we live in sometimes.
It's a very interesting climate that we're in terms of self-defense, personal protection, awareness, and things like that. I mean, it's really high and tight right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 4 years with this with President Trump's being in office and how he's going to handle certain things. So
Yeah, and stuff locally in Florida, the standard ground laws, different things happening.
Right.
Curt Lorden in the house. The mortgage maverick is back in the house. Branch manager, InterLinc Mortgage Services. Welcome in, sir.
What's going on, Brandon? I'm digging the suit. Is that the same suit that you wore on the cover of your book?
Different one.
Different one.
Yeah,
Looks
man.
similar.
Thanks, buddy.
I always feel like a bum when I come in
Very
next to him.
similar.
I'm like, man, I just not even.
Nah, we don't have to wear suits. We're not the host.
Right. Yeah. So you guys get the pass.
Exactly. I'm gonna come in shorts and flip flops next week.
But you got the nice quarterback shirt. You got the logos on the shirt.
Yeah, I wish you'd get me more than one.
Yeah. What color do you want? You want a different color?
Yeah, I would love. Can you get it in white?
You got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, white's good for this.
All right, everyone in Radio Land, you heard it. If I don't have it by next week.
Yeah, come on. You got to get a little more time than that.
No, that's fine. I'm actually heading to Vegas tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., so it should be a fun weekend.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about, Joe brought up Trump and why interest rates are actually dropping right now despite the Fed raising interest rates, and kind of just a mini forecast over the next couple of weeks.
Uncertainty out there. There's geopolitical things happening, a lot of stuff in the news, the North Korea, everything, there's a lot of things on the top of, the trends on Facebook and Twitter. You look at that and you think, wow, where are we living at? What's going on? But the big thing that we want to do with this show is we want to be different. We want to give you that check up from the neck up, so to speak, help you understand more about your, everything from CPAs, financial advisors, 7 or 8 different types of law that we have expert contributors for on this show, health, nutrition, lifestyle, recreation, self-defense, so many ways that we can help you. So that's what we want you to do. We want you to engage us, and that's how we can help you live a better life. And we're going to give you, some of these different things happening, the trends, but ultimately there's the economy out there, and then there's the economy between your ears. And what are you going to do about it? What can you control? The old sphere of influence and sphere of concern, right? So what can you control? Focus on the vital few, things that you can change. And the power of focus is so immensely important in our lives. What we focus on, we feel, and we want to make sure we live in a peak state. We stay in that beautiful state, and you master your mind or it masters you. That's the bottom line. And decisions determine your destiny. Sometimes small decisions where you may go to school, where you may go on the weekends, those types of things are going to change the future of what you do. Could be very small things, coincidental things, but you want to focus on the vital few, things that can move your business in the right direction, things that can move you in a positive direction and move that needle over towards prosperity and success. So let's go ahead and jump into this great content. Joe Harris Harrison. Harrison Martial Arts. He's an expert and owner of Harrison Martial Arts here. So what are you seeing out there?
I'm seeing a lot of different things. I'm seeing the biggest thing I'm seeing is actually something you mentioned earlier, is that you've got the quick thought versus the slow thought,
Right.
and the quick appeasement versus the other. So it's very interesting to see that actually happen right in front of your eyes. That comment you made earlier was perfect. I mean, the quick thought versus the slow thought, and trying to get people to say, look, if you want to take part in self-improvement, becoming smarter, physically better, whatever, it takes time.
That's right.
You can't sit here and just swallow a pill and be like, hey, I'm smarter, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm whatever, more able.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work that way. We can become as technologically advanced as we can become, but we still have physical bodies, and we have to do certain things to improve physically and mentally.
Yeah, small incremental improvements. If you
Right.
improve a 0.5% per week
Yep.
in one area, you think about that. There's 26
That's a lot.
bi-weekly periods. You're getting a great improvement every week. You're getting about a 10 to 15% increase if you do that on a monthly. And then you do that, you compound that year after year. You could be 1,000 times better in 5 years.
And the other thing I'm noticing is the unrealistic expectations that people bring to the table when it comes to physical improvement and mental aptitude and things like that. They
Sure.
think they're just going to get smarter in a week.
Yeah.
Or they think they're going to get stronger in a week. I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If you come in here, this is a long-term investment.
Yeah.
This isn't like 6 months and you're going to be as good as I am after 25 years of
Right.
doing it.
Right.
It doesn't. If I could do that, I'd be a billionaire. So it's just interesting how their expectations fall in line like that. And the one thing I always say is, when it comes to expectations, you can't put a racehorse, or you can't put a pull horse in a racehorse race.
Right.
It's not going to work that way. Yes, they're the same animal, but they just have a different purpose.
Sure.
So make sure your expectations are in line when you're going into anything physical or mental or whatever. Like, they come into me and I say, look, this is a long-term investment. Get ready, to pay long-term for this. I can't make you that good in 6 months. It's not going to work that way.
Trade your expectations for appreciation.
Yes.
Appreciate what you got.
Right.
And that's going to help you, achieve that success. And
Right.
just realize, like you said, it's not an overnight thing.
Right,
It's
no.
going to be small, and it's going to be small wins that you stack. And what
Right.
happens is you get momentum. And then you get that momentum, and a lot of people say, especially in certain capacity, is that's the reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Yes. I totally believe that, especially with that comment. That's very true. And if you want to change over, have you ever read the book Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki?
I think I've seen parts of that.
Yeah, and he's got like this quadrant sort of thing where he's got, on this side you've got the big business and the small business, and on this side you got the self-employed and the employed. Well, basically the only difference between the two is how we think,
Right.
how we treat money, how we treat people, how we treat ourselves. That's the biggest difference. So if you want to go on to the top tier side of life, you have to change the way you think.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it's a big mental game.
huge.
Inside, the law of correspondence is what Brian Tracy talks about, is, as within, so without.
Right.
So the thoughts of success and prosperity, something as little as a Tony Robbins trick I picked
Right.
up, is on your billfold, you take and you put the $100 bills on the outside instead of looking at the small bills,
Right.
And then when you're seeing that
That's
every day,
nice.
you're like, wow, yeah, I've got hundreds of dollars. I've got, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm in good shape. And it
Yep.
helps program
That's a
your
good
mind.
reinforcement effect. That's a great.
Exactly.
That's a great reinforcement thing to help you just slowly, so you can actually see for real that you're getting better.
That's right.
And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. But it also takes a lot of mental strength to do that, and a lot of people don't have that mental strength.
Right.
Some of us are going to do better, some of us are not. You know, but yeah.
So many people live in the past. I brought this in. I'm doing a public speaking event next week, and I talked about it on last week's show. But, this is a rearview mirror. And what happens is so many people are focusing on the past, what's in the rearview mirror, and there's a reason why the windshield in a vehicle
Yep.
is 100 times larger than this little rearview mirror that I'm holding up. If you're watching our TV show on
Right.
WeBeam TV or ConsumerQB.com, you watch our live stream. So this rearview mirror here is where a lot of people focus their energies, and unfortunately, they got enablers as well that surround
Yeah.
them, and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I can't believe it happened to you." You're like, "Man, that was 30 years ago, man. Let that shit go."
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that one. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. There was a story where I read in this book called Great by Choice by Jim Collins.
Yep.
And he talks about the story of Charlie Brown, the cartoon character Charlie
Yeah.
Brown, and he's talking to Lucy, and she says, well, some people, they sit on the cruise ship of life.
Yeah.
Some people sit on the front so they can see where they're going. Some people sit in the back so they can see where they've come from. Where are you going to sit, Charlie Brown? He says, well, I don't know, because I can't manage to get one of the chairs unfolded. So, some people it takes a certain mental aptitude, and you have to be aware that you don't have the aptitude yet to improve.
Right.
And the way that you can do that is by training, with somebody like myself in martial arts.
That's
so
right.
You can identify where's my aptitude versus where it needs to be.
Right.
And how can I get it to where I want it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many positive things when it comes to martial arts. It's a mental game. It's a physical game. It's a chess game. There's so many ways that Joe Harrison Martial Arts right here in Clearwater, Florida, can help you with that. Curt Lorden's going to be coming up as well. He's the branch manager of InterLinc Mortgage Services, the Mortgage Maverick here on the Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. Our official hotel partner is Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora. It's the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. Spanish ancestry meets cool Mediterranean attitude, whitewashed Mediterranean palace, rooftop yoga on the weekends, and an awesome restaurant on site, the Castile Restaurant. So stay with us. More from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Don't forget, Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Visit realestateradiotampa.com or text the word VALUE to their consumer advocacy hotline at 813-917-1894. Call Brandon today, 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, quarterback show, platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and others. Recognized for innovation with marketing, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. 2606 North Valrico Road here in Seffner. This is an 84-acre development opportunity. Attention any builders, developers, any entrepreneurs out there. $1.7 million is the asking price, and owners motivated at 2606 North Valrico Road in Seffner. Also have a great opportunity, a smaller lot right around the corner at 11515 East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard out in Seffner as well, out in East Hillsborough County, and it's just 2 or 3 minutes to I-75 and I-4. Two beautiful opportunities here in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
Big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. Also, shout out to Source One Solutions, our security partner. Robert Hessel and his team utilize Honeywell technology to protect your home and your office with Honeywell technology. Source One Solutions, the official security partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friends of the program. We're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida here every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on 1250 Wins, WHNZ, helping you win in any marketplace, giving you that commission, non-commission based advice, and making you more street smart here, helping you avoid all that commission breath out there, Curt. It's so prevalent out there, commission breath everywhere you turn.
Unfortunately, it's the one thing that the dentist can't get rid of.
yeah, there you go. That's right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it's out there, but going back to Joe's comment about the importance of martial arts, I trained in Kung Tao for over 10 years down in Fort Myers, and actually we have some similar
Chris Deerbaum.
Chris Deerbaum and Tony
guy.
Laughlin. Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I trained with Chris when we were young, because I think he's a little bit older than I am.
Right,
but
yep.
you get the spiritual aspect of it, and it works with negotiations. It works with understanding. It's not just a physical thing.
Right.
You can look at someone that you're negotiating with, and even as little as the pulse in their neck, and say, okay, well, he's a little riled up, he's a little excited. There's just so many different facets to martial arts than just the hand-to-hand aspect of it.
Well said. I totally agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it teaches you how to breathe. If you ever look at a baby, when they breathe from their stomach. And over time, as adults, we start breathing through our lungs, which makes you weak. So if you breathe diaphragmically like a singer does, you don't hold that oxygen in your body. So if you fall or if you're hit or whatever, you're not going to get that, the wind knocked out of you, so to speak.
So the proper way to breathe is actually breathing from down low.
Yeah, you stick.
Low.
Yeah, when you inhale.
Yeah.
Stick your stomach out.
I got you.
And exhale.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, that definitely. He's absolutely right. Curt couldn't have said it better. I mean, it's when you breathe properly, it allows the oxygen to go into your body much more efficiently.
Right.
And it's less exhausting to do it that way, actually. So it provides more oxygen to the brain better. It's a whole. He's absolutely right.
And I think that's one thing that happens too, is that when people get into an altercation, a fight, they it's out of their element.
They get out of wind.
They hold
quick.
their breath.
Yes, and they run out of wind really fast. And it's funny. It's very funny that he brought that up, because I have a couple of friends of mine who they don't actually have breathing problems. They just don't know how to breathe.
Yeah.
Right.
So and then I taught them how to breathe, and like, oh, I thought I had some problems. I'm like, no, you don't have problems. You're not breathing right.
You forgot how to breathe, sir.
Forgot how to breathe. So it's just it's absolutely he's absolutely correct in that. And I taught I coached gymnastics for 20 years, and I had to teach kids how to breathe because they had to save energy when they were going through their events. So he's right. You have to breathe through the stomach. You
can control your heart rate. I mean, your body temperature. I mean, all of those things are huge. And then get into Tai Chi and start doing you start talking about the meridians and the channels and which we call we're the Westerners. We call it adrenaline, but it's
chakras.
Yeah, chi, all of that stuff. You talk pressure points and all of that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Keep you healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you got to know your body. You got to know what's wrong with it and what's right with it. You got to know the ups and downs and the ins and outs, because if the less you know about yourself and your body, the worse you're going to do in a physical situation or a mental one or emotional one.
Right.
If you're not well rounded in yourself, you're likely to fail a lot more often.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just joined us, I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. We're in studio here. Joe Harrison to my right, Harrison Martial Arts. Curt Lorden to my left, branch manager, InterLinc Mortgage Services, and also Paul Bundschu just walked in as well. One Stop Cooling and Heating. We're going to bring him in as well into the conversation. Let's stay on the martial arts topic and how it relates. So, Curt, you also mentioned things happening, trending. So, what are you seeing out there?
Well, rates went up after the Trump election, and now there's a lot of uncertainty and lack of confidence in the Trump trade. Mm-hmm. So money is starting to pour out of the stock market back into the bond market, which is rates are trickling down. I mean, I just locked several rates that were the lowest I've seen in 6 months.
Wow.
So, and it's going to continue that way for a little bit. The one thing that we're still running up against, obviously, is just the lack of inventory. And it's funny because actually in Ireland, there was an article that they're running into the same situation that we had back in the 08, 07 era, where prices are just going through the roof. And it's because of lackadaisical lending, platforms and programs, et cetera, et cetera. Like, really, you didn't learn from us? But I mean, I'm Irish and I'm stubborn too, so I guess
yeah, right,
makes sense.
Yeah, I've got the Irish blood in my family too, and yeah, when you look at the climate now, and and a lot of it too, I think is fueled by the uncertainty of the big if of Korea. What's happening in North Korea, where that's influencing, I think, a lot of the
there are so many factors right now, and it's for someone who isn't in my industry, or in the financial services, it's got to be difficult to pay attention to all the different factors that impact interest rates, which is why you should hire a professional to do it for you.
That's right. Yeah, and I love that aspect. Let's talk about that as well. You look at an overall comprehensive plan. You look at making sure that your CPA is talking to your estate planning attorney, who's talking to your mortgage advisor. There's so many pieces to that wheel. Why don't you speak to that, Curt?
Yeah, so things that we talk about, we talk about, your monthly payment, your monthly cash flow, your tax benefits, your mortgage term, and then when you're home, it's your investment. So you have these three facets. You have your liabilities, you have your tax implications, and then you have an asset. Well, your financial planner is going to manage your asset. Your CPA is going to manage the tax liability, the tax aspect of it. I manage your liabilities. I manage your mortgage. I look at your credit card debt, your auto loans, your student loans, and look at an overall picture of what your household interest rate is, and look at if it makes sense to buy, if it makes sense to continue to rent a little bit, or if it makes sense to refinance if you currently own a home. But if your CPA is not talking to your financial planner, and your financial planner is not talking to your loan officer, and your loan officer is not talking to your CPA, you're only getting one side of it because they don't know what the other two are doing.
Yeah, you almost have to be proactive and put an email chain together. Hey, introduce the two parties, the three parties. Make sure you carbon copy them in, because there's certain aspects of each plan that it's going to need to be considered by the other.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at, healthcare, if you have a orthopedic surgeon, he's probably going to get the records from your primary care physician, because he needs to know what's going on with you so he can make the right decision on what needs to be done to your leg or arm or whatnot. So I don't know why people don't do it more often in their finances.
Yeah.
Because they all work together.
Yeah, the problem is people are so busy. There's always these excuses. A lot of people put more time into their vacation plan than they do their business plan, or their planning their tax, their estate plan, all these different areas that we talked about. And I think that's one thing that, we set this show up 4 years ago to help people understand the importance of that, because we've seen happen. We've seen $100,000 mistakes. We've had attorneys sit here and talk about $100,000 mistakes that people made when it comes to just simply tweaking and having that little bit of a proactive approach.
Yeah. And, I always say, can you afford not to do it? Think you spend a lot of time and effort on your vacation. Just think if you spent a little bit of time on your household economy.
That's right.
What a better vacation you'd be able to take. You'd be able to go to Bora Bora or do whatever, but wherever you wanted to go. We could do another top 10 list about the 10 top vacation stuff, and you guys could go on those.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was horrible at it.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the top 10 martial arts for self-defense according to listverse.com. We're going to talk about that maybe next segment or segment on down the line. But let's go ahead and bring Paul into the conversation. Paul, welcome in. Paul Bundschu, he's a sales manager, One Stop Cooling and Heating. So, welcome back in, sir.
Hey, how's it going, Brandon? He said inventory on the houses. It's really amazing that we don't have any inventory, because the builders are really building a lot of houses. We do a lot of new construction, and it's hard to keep up with what's going out. So, I think that the inventory is going to be there, but it's just not there yet.
Yeah, it'll eventually turn around. I mean, it's cyclical. Everything that goes up must go down, and vice versa. So there's going to be a flood of homes on the market. It's just with everything in the marketplace right now, so much uncertainty. It's just we're waiting for kind of the other shoe to drop, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I see I watch the news and see what North Korea is doing every day, and it's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah.
Would I want to, if I was looking for a house, would I put it on hold? Probably would, just to get past that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the inventory is going to be there. I think that the builders are really building some quality product right now, even the lower end stuff. So, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk more with Paul in the next segment. We're going to talk about some precautionary things people can do to make sure their air conditioning units, talk about some of those other aspects of AC, HVAC, and things happening with one-stop cooling, as well as more from our expert contributors here in studio. We're going to go through the top 10 martial arts for self-defense, according to Lisford. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show right here on iHeartRadio. And please check out realestateradio.tampa.com to buy or sell real estate and see all of his expert contributors. Thank you.
Don't forget, Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Visit realestateradio.tampa.com or text the word VALUE to their consumer advocacy hotline at 813-917-1894. Call Brandon today, 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at USF, the South Florida Bulls, and now we're helping people quarterback transactions. We're quarterbacking introductions to all of the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we've vetted. 80 different show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, expert contributors that take time out of their busy schedule. They come on the air to help educate, entertain, enlighten, but we want to engage you to help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission breath, make you more street smart. Our hotline number is 670-7372 is our hotline. 813-670-REQB is our hotline. Also, hit us up on the website, consumerqb.com. Just hit the contact form, submit the form to us, and we're going to get back to you before our head hits the pillow that same day. We got people calling in for all types of offers. We have the credit package out there. We'll do a free comparable market analysis if you're in the real estate space. Curt and his team can do a rent versus own analysis for you as well when it comes to taking a look at renting versus owning. So many ways that we can help you. We've got health wheel, we got the finance wheel, we got the business wheel, self-defense and martial arts. A lot of ways that we can help you here with the Quarterback Show, but you've got to engage. Listen, in studio today, we got Joe Harrison Martial Arts, Paul Bundschu, he's a sales manager of One Stop Cooling and Heating, as well as Curt Lorden, the branch manager, InterLinc Mortgage Services. We're going to go to Paul now. Paul, what are you seeing out there in the space? And this is the time of year to make sure you're precautionary because the summer months are coming.
Yeah, right now we see a lot of maintenances coming in, people calling in, getting their units tuned up, getting ready for the hot season. There's a big difference between getting a tune-up and getting a service call. If your unit's broke, please call us anyway, but it's really not a maintenance. It's not, because we get a lot of people that get that confused. They'll call in and say, hey, I need a maintenance. My service tech gets there, and the unit's not even running. So that's
not maintenance.
It's not maintenance, no.
Come on,
But we're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We come out there, we'll service your units, $49 service call. For us to show up at the door, we'll tell you what's wrong with it. I have NATE certified service techs that are highly trained, factory trained, and they're happy to come help you out.
Yeah, it's important to do the precautionary things when it comes to making sure your system's going to work properly and efficiently.
Definitely. If you change your filter every 2 years or every 3 years, or when your unit breaks, which I've had that before. I showed up somebody's house and they said, "Oh, I just put a new filter in," and I'm like, "Well, how long ago was the last time you changed it?" "Oh, about 2-3 years ago."
God, it sounds like me. Notorious for that.
that just gets all the dirt and impacts your coil, so your unit's not going to run efficiently. But it's definitely good to get your unit tuned up at least once a year. That's what the factory, or that's what the manufacturers all recommend, is once a year, twice a year if you want to do it that way too. That helps your unit. It's going to save you money in the long run.
Right.
You're going to spend a little bit of money to save a lot of money.
That's right.
So
a lot of headache, a lot of time down, and the sweaty nights sleeping.
I mean, who wants to be in the middle of July living in Florida with no air?
Right. One of the things we talk about a lot on this show is where the trends are going. What is the trends? What are the things that people don't even know about yet, Paul? And we're talking with Paul Bundschu. He's a sales manager, One Stop Cooling and Heating. So I love what you talk about as well with some of the preventative measures, and also the ability to, people that have asthma, people that have those types of medical and health related. You have services that can help them. Yeah,
there's several products on the market that are just awesome products. Air Night is an air purifier. It kills everything that blows over it. Pollen, cold viruses, flu viruses, H1N1. It's a really good product. It's not really that expensive, and it will help cut down the dust in your house also. So the women or whoever does the dusting in the house, they'll usually have to dust about half as many times.
Wow.
So, and then there's other air purifiers, or capture and kill systems like the Lennox Pure Air system, the Carrier Infinity Air Purifier. Both of those are awesome products. I'm seeing more and more people putting things like that in, just because everybody, the allergies here and the pollen, right, especially right now, is really kicking up.
Right.
I know I got a big oak tree in my front yard that I park my truck under, and I have to wash my truck about 3 times a week to get all the pollen off of it.
Yeah, and your truck turns green.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, and those are the types of things that are really cool, because some of the new technology is going to help people not be as sick. My fiance, different people in my family, I see it. They, they're constantly blowing their nose. They're having to deal with that. And a lot of these technologies people don't know about.
No, and a lot of people don't even ask about them.
Right.
When I'm at people's houses, I usually have to initiate that type of conversation with people.
Right.
They don't realize what's on the market and how it can help them and how it can help you lead a healthier life. I mean, the air in your house is way more polluted than the air outside your house. I know we talked about that last time I was in here, because the houses are sealed up so tight now, it's holding all that stuff in your house. And so these air purifiers they're really the way to go now, because they help purify your air. The doors aren't open and closed as much as they used to. Kids aren't running in and out as much as they used to, so you're not getting that outside air infiltration to help alleviate some of the polluted air that's in your house.
Yeah, Paul, that makes a lot of sense. Kurt, let's also talk about we talk about on the show the different renovation type programs. And I'm not going to say 401k, because I know that's what you want me to say. 203k. These 203k loans, these different renovation loans, it helps the potential buyer. They can go in and buy, and they could potentially upgrade the HVAC systems. There's a lot of things they can do. Is that right?
Yeah, they can do all of that stuff. The only thing with the 203k is you can't add a pool, but you can renovate a pool. But yeah, absolutely, you could add a brand new. You can do plumbing. You can get to the point where you can knock the entire house down to the foundation, as long as the foundation stays intact.
Wow.
You can rebuild that house. And the good thing is, while you're putting in the new the new air unit and all of that, if the house is not livable, you can finance your mortgage payments into your loan. So you're not going to have your mortgage payments until the house becomes habitable.
Wow,
until it's completed. And you have up to 6 months to get it done.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Paul. You guys doing some of that?
Yeah, actually, I'm seeing a little bit of that. I actually did a 203k. I did a loan, or a gentleman had that, and we put a new system in, put all new ductwork in for him. There's also some programs, the PACE and the Y-Green programs.
Yeah, that's right.
They just got approved here in Hillsborough County, Pasco County. They basically just opened the floodgates up, and that's those programs. You don't have to have any credit. I mean, you can have, all you have to do is be current on your mortgage, and you can get a loan to fix your house.
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, one of the realtors on my team, Mark Ogles, he used to be a House State representative, and he was big on going around the state and lobbying and helping get that PACE program, which, if you haven't heard of PACE, is the preferred alternative clean energy, something to that effect, Paul. Something along that line.
Yeah, it's something along
clean
that
energy.
line.
So ultimately, it's a bond program or something along those lines.
What it does is the way it was explained to me, and we just rolled it into our company. I had a representative come in just last week and to talk to us about it, and we're getting set up right now to be able to handle that. From what he told me, it basically gets rolled into your property taxes.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a really neat program that allows people to, upgrade, especially in those areas of clean energy. So I'm not sure if solar is included. I can't recall. It's been a while since I had that conversation with him. But it's interesting to look into that, because when you look at where we're at, and so that's exciting too. You said, because I knew Pasco had approved it, so Hillsborough already approved it.
Yes, Hillsborough approved it. I believe Monday is when Hillsborough approved it.
Okay.
And actually, Pasco approved it, everything except for Newport Richey, and Newport Richey just approved it yesterday.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So
really cool. Yeah. And that's the other side, Kurt. When we think about these buyers, a lot of times, they have the stigma of, I got to have 20% down. I don't have enough cash to buy down. And then also with these down payment assistance programs, some municipalities have programs that'll help people. Yeah,
you can get up to $15,000 for down payment and also closing costs. So there's so many different avenues for home ownership these days, and it's becoming more of the norm that less money down, because cash is king. We talk about cash on hand and investment, and heaven forbid 6 months down the road your AC unit goes bust because the previous owner changed their air filters once in 10 years. So, but you gotta ask, you gotta look, you gotta engage us, and we'll talk you through the whole entire process. We'll go through from, soup to nuts, the entire process, the advantages, the disadvantages, and really find that program that's going to fit you and your family's, short-term and long-term financial goals with the home.
That's right. Yeah, consumerqb.com. That's your number one resource for all things real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, health, nutrition, so many ways that we can help you. And also a big shout out to Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Hannah and her team over at Smart Move Moving and Storage, longtime friend of the program here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the top 10 martial arts for self-defense and also more from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
Don't forget, Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Visit realestateradiotampa.com or text the word VALUE to their consumer advocacy hotline at 813-917-1894. Call Brandon today, 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, Quarterback Show. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We're teaching you how to harness the power of the media and start your own radio and TV show, or maybe you want to start a podcast. There's a lot of ways that we can help you here. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. Big shout out to Hula Bay, our official restaurant partner. Hula Bay, right on Tyson Avenue there in South Tampa. A great place to go and enjoy a wonderful meal, waterfront ambiance, excellent service, and wide variety on the menu. Everything from salads to burgers and tacos, lots of cool things in between. And the best sushi in all of Tampa Bay. The tuna is shipped in fresh from Hawaii every 2 days. Say hello to Todd, the manager over at Hula Bay. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. He's going to hook you up with that free water and lemon that we joke about on the show. All right, so we're back here in studio, iHeartRadio, helping you win an indie marketplace, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Top 10 martial arts for self-defense, according to listverse.com. So we'll start right here with our very own Joe Harrison Martial Arts.
That's an interesting list because my brain is going like in 100 different directions right now because I've trained in so many systems. So the top 10, it says top 10, say it again?
Yeah, top 10 martial arts for self-defense.
For self-defense, because that's different than a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
The top 10 for self-defense, man, that's a tough one because what I want to say professionally is I would say it's a combination of three. If I had to mix three arts together to make
you only get one, though.
Oh, man. Okay, the best one for self-defense, traditionally speaking, I would have to say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, that's on the list. That is on the list at number 3.
Okay.
All right, Paul, you have a guess? You want to throw a hat and guess out here?
I'm not much into the martial arts.
Top 10 martial arts for self-defense.
The Kung Fu?
Kung Fu, let's see. I don't see Kung Fu on this list here.
Apparently nobody was Kung Fu
And
fighting.
actually, I kind of want to change my
fighting.
my answer. Not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it's not actually Brazilian, it's Japanese. Jiu-Jitsu, traditional.
Well, that's actually
Japanese
lower
jiu-jitsu.
down the list. So whoever made this list, that is on the list. Jiu-Jitsu's number 6. Brazilian is number 3. Curt.
I'm having the same problem that Joe is.
It's tough.
I'm gonna go with judo.
Judo. Let's see where judo's at. Judo is not on the list, Curt. Sorry to buzz you, man.
That's all right.
Well, the one that I've trained, the one that I teach, that I believe is the top one, is probably going to be Filipino Kali or Filipino martial arts.
Filipino Kali. I don't see that one on here. But this is just
I want to know
opinion.
who made this list.
Well, it's listverse.com.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead. Number 1, they're saying Krav Maga.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the Israeli
it's the
one,
most
right?
popular one in terms of self-defense, but I wouldn't say it's the best one.
Yep.
It's the most popular one.
What about number 2 here? KC fighting method?
KC fighting method. That was devised and created by a guy named Justo Dieguez over in Spain.
Nice.
And he got together with a guy named Andy Norman, who were both friends of mine. And they came. The fighting system is based off of Justo Dieguez's street time in Spain, and a lot of the situations he got in there. And I'm supposed to be hosting him next year to come to Clearwater to do an event. And actually, speaking of KC fighting method, believe it or not, this weekend I'm doing a KC fighting method workshop.
Nice.
So if anybody wants to join that, just give me or Brandon a holler and we'll get you in.
Yeah, definitely. The hotline is 670-7372, 670-REQB to make it easy. When you said who the first person was that combined with this, I thought you were going to say Bill O'Reilly. He's going to need to learn some of this. Exactly. He's going to need to learn some of that. All right, so number 4 is Western boxing.
Western boxing.
So just straight up boxing. The only problem with boxing is somebody's going to scoop you and take your legs out, and then you're going to be in the ground.
Boxing is only a part of a martial art. You should know how to use your hands, your feet, your knees, your elbows.
So that shows how much this list people
exactly.
Jeet Kune Do?
Jeet Kune Do. That's Bruce Lee's
Lee's
martial art. That's right. It was in 1964 is when he coined the term. And it's funny because Jeet Kune Do is such a popular art and system, but it's not an art or a system. It's a personal philosophy on the exploration of the martial arts that he did personally. So if you go back to the stuff that I learned from all his top students and the stuff that I've read, Jeet Kune Do is only about 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
It's one of the youngest, least developed systems on the planet, but it's one of the most popular ones. So, I'm surprised. Yeah.
So rounding it out, Kickboxing, number 10, number 9, karate, and then number 8, aikido. So
that's so funny. That's you see, he already knows. If him and I made a list right now, it would be way different than that.
Yeah, interesting content here. We're having that list for you, having some fun. Let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round. All right, now we're going to do top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Let's start on this side here, Kurt.
Well, first of all, I'm going to call shenanigans because I'm looking at your book. That is the exact same suit that you have.
I told you. It's not.
Call shenanigans. Read the book. Speaking of books, read the book Art of War.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
absolutely read it. Yep.
Right. And actually, there's a lot of versions of that. They've been creating a lot of different versions of
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, the Art of War for business, the Art of War for... I mean, there's like 15 different Art of War books that are based off the original. Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu.
That's right. I had that as an MP3 one time.
Yep,
that was good.
Exactly. Very good book. Yep.
Very cool.
I highly recommend that as well.
So that's your tip. Paul, what's your top tip? Things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice.
Well, one of the top tips I can give you, especially for your air conditioning system, please change your filter on a monthly basis. Get your service done once a year so you're not out stranded in the heat and sweating all night, and when it's in the busiest time of year and we can't get to you right away. We have 24 hours. We get to people within 24 hours, but who wants to sit for 24 hours with no air?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Call to action is call in. You got that $49 offer from One Stop Cooling and Heating here. Paul's in studio, 670-7372. Take him up on that offer, 670-7372. That's REQB. All right, top tips.
Top tips. Take care of yourself. For crying out loud. We live in America. We can get out of hand physically and mentally, and it's easy to get complacent and lazy and whatever. You got to take care of yourself. You know, everybody's life is finite, so get involved in taking care of yourself. Get smarter. Read more books, as Curt was saying. Great book over there. He was mentioning The Art of War. Top tips is, once again, just get educated, get aware, take care of yourself, and keep moving forward.
That's right. And call that audible. Sometimes you want to call that audible.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and here's one is I don't think it's aptitude. It's more about your attitude, right? I don't think it's IQ. I think it's I will. And I don't think it's smarts. I think it's heart. You know, it's more about the heart behind it and the drive that you have. And however hard you work, you know, the luckier you get, right? The harder I work, the luckier I get. So let's do another round here. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Curt Lorden.
Well, like you said, you know, make your own luck. You know, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. That is the true definition of luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Paul?
Get outside, enjoy our weather. We have great weather right now. I mean, it's a little warm, but the humidity's down. This is a perfect time of year to get out, enjoy the beach, and enjoy our beautiful weather here in Florida.
That's right. Yeah, engage us on the show. We can help you win with a lot of different areas as well. All right, Joe Harrison Martial Arts.
Top tips would be avoid negative people, negative places, and negative things.
Yeah.
And if just doing that right there will remove 80% of the stress in your life, you know, if not more. So I like to go back to the rule that you like to follow, Brandon, which is the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Very popular rule, Pareto's rule. So follow that, man, and you'll see some serious changes in your life.
Yeah, Pareto's principle. Focus your efforts on the 20% of activities that are going to move 80% of your business, your sales. It's going to help you with that. And I'm going to add one on here and also plug one of our sponsors. Eat healthy, and it's easy to do with Healthy Gourmet. Felicia Lacaille. Organic vegetables, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week to your home or office. Felicia Lacaille, longtime friend of the Quarterback Show here, Healthy Gourmet, and she's going to deliver these awesome meals, pre-packaged, pre-cooked meals that you simply just heat up on a skillet on the stovetop, or you can do the microwave. I don't recommend the microwave. Some studies that have come out recently about that. Healthy Gourmet, Felicia Lacaille, healthy meals delivered 3 times a week, and eat healthy. Curt? Up to you. Back to you.
I wasn't expecting a round 3.
We're going round 3 here.
Here's a tip. Pay attention when you're on the radio.
There you go. Nice.
I know we're done. I'm like, my my earphones are off. Yeah.
You're in football mode now.
Yeah, I know, right? So, you know, just get a comprehensive financial, you know, consultation every year. You know, you kind of change your air filters every couple months. You know, annually, semi-annually, quarterly. Just meet with your CPA, your financial planner, and your mortgage loan officer. If you don't have those guys, go out and find 3 fiduciaries that'll work hand in hand with you.
Good point, fiduciary. And make sure that you take an action item. If you have a goal in mind, never leave the site of setting a goal without taking some type of an action item towards that goal. Maybe it's pulling out your smartphone, sending a text to our hotline. Maybe it's going to the website. Maybe it's calling up a friend that you know can help you with those situations. Scheduling the appointment, making an action item step toward that. About 30 seconds left, Paul.
Oh, round 3, huh?
Top tips.
Top tips. I'll just throw this out there. If you need a new air conditioner, or you think you need a new air conditioner, we can come out and we give a free estimate. It doesn't cost you anything.
There you go.
There you go.
Free estimate. I want to thank all of our expert contributors, Joe Harrison Martial Arts, Paul Bundschu, he's a sales manager of One Stop Cooling and Heating, Curt Lorden, the branch manager of InterLinc Mortgage Services, all of our expert contributors, all the folks behind the scenes helping make this show awesome. We really appreciate all of our listeners out there as well. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food, taking it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see on the side of the road that is in need, maybe even buying an extra sandwich next time you're in the drive-thru and handing it to that person that you see in need. Volunteer. Great organizations to volunteer with around Tampa Bay and be a force for good in the community. Continue tuning in to the Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Don't forget, Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Visit realestateradiotampa.com or text the word VALUE to their consumer advocacy hotline at 813-917-1894. Call Brandon today.